He's just a good old boy who loves burning rubber and driving fast.
Alright, we're getting the car back together. What's going on in here?
Just go and go and go and go and you never listen.
I'm trying. I just don't understand what you want from me.
Well, I mean, it's pretty dang simple. It's either right or it's wrong.
All right, well, we keep blowing shit up every
well,
round.
I mean,
like, this
is that your fault? Is that my fault?
I
mean,
guess
it's a
not,
race car.
but why you hurt me so hard?
Well, I mean, I've had just about all I want out of your northern upstate mouth.
All right, well, bless your heart then. I'm sick of this shit.
Just fine.
Get that out of my face. I'm over YouTube.
Bye! Okay, so I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this after the video clip you just saw of me and Kaylynn. Pretty heated, and I know that's why y'all clicked on it, to find out. But before we actually get to that point of what that was all about, Kaylynn's sitting here, and we're just going to cover a little bit about Kaylynn. And basically, I'm going to make y'all sit here for at least a few moments, and we'll explain what the fight was all about. The fight.
Oh yeah. It definitely got wild.
It did.
That's for sure.
It did. So Kaylynn, tell me what has been this year. I think I've asked this, but I don't care. What's been the coolest thing about this year?
I can think of two things. So one, this is the first year in the clutch department. We started the year with brand new everything. So throughout my entire career, I've had stuff that, you know, has had hundreds of runs on it, that you're kind of chasing everything and really kind of babysit it. And then this year we walked in and I was super excited to be able to track everything from like the first point we got it all the way through the season, and learn its personality and kind of test and tune with it until we got it figured out.
Yeah.
And then I would say probably second moment would have been Denver. I think Denver was such a cool win. It was one of those weekends where everything went so smoothly, and it was like
After qualified.
yeah.
Got in on the last session.
Yes, it was wild. And then it was Sunday though. It was like it truly was meant to be, and it was a good time. So I think those would be my two favorites
of the season.
Of the season, yeah.
So since you said career, when you grew up, you did not, like me, think about drag race nonstop.
Not at all. I honestly, when I walked into the sport and I got hired, I had seen Erica Ender's Disney movie, Right on Track, and I had read Jim Oberhofer's book. And maybe on Sundays, we were a huge NASCAR family. Afterwards, the NHRA broadcast would be on, and I kind of remember watching like Ashley Force and John Force, and I recognized those names, but it was kind of on in the background at that point because NASCAR was over with. So yeah, I grew up dirt racing. So when I walked into it, I had literally zero. I hadn't even been to a local drag strip with like door slammers or anything.
So where was home?
Syracuse, New York is the closest city to me, but I'm from a really, really small town called Jordan, New York.
So that's very much like me when people ask. I say near Memphis.
Right, yeah.
Near Memphis, because nobody knows where Drummond's is.
Yeah, because Syracuse is about 20-30 minutes away from me, but yeah.
A lot of dirt racing.
Yes, so like I could probably list 10-15 tracks within an hour that you could go to and see a full show on Friday, Saturday nights, and on top of the kart tracks and everything. And the closest drag strip I think is a couple hours away from me, so it just never really was on our radar.
Yeah. So how did you end up drag racing?
So actually, I was getting ready to graduate college, and I like had my mind set on NASCAR. That's where I wanted to go, and I had a bunch of friends graduate and go to NASCAR, and they weren't really having the time of their life. For different reasons, and I just kind of got a little nervous about it. I was about to take a position as a dyno technician with GM.
Where were you at school?
I was at the University of Northwestern Ohio, UNOH, and I literally was getting ready to accept the job, and a friend of mine who worked on Terry McMillan's car texted me and was like, hey, you want to go drag racing? And I was like, no, I don't. To be honest, because I had zero interest in it, and I didn't understand, you know, really what went into it. And he's like, no, I think you really should try it out. There's a bunch of my friends that graduated had come out here, and I was like, oh, I guess maybe I'll entertain it. And so Rob Wendland gave me a call probably about a week before I graduated, and we talked mainly about my CDL. He's like, can you drive a truck? And I'm like, well, I mean, I licensed at school. He goes, how long you been driving? I said, the 6 weeks at school. And he goes, all right, that'll do, that's fine. And he's like, when can you start? And I told him I graduate next Tuesday. He goes, can you be at the shop on Wednesday? And I drove from Lima, Ohio to Indy Tuesday night. Worked at the shop Wednesday through Friday, and we left for Las Vegas on Monday.
Wow.
So it was, yeah.
So why would a pretty young girl want to work on cars? Where'd that come from?
I think my dad. My dad was racing karts when I was little, and we spent most Friday nights at the racetrack, and I knew very much so, like junior drag racing, you could get in a go-kart at 5 years old, and I begged and pleaded for one. Right. My mom was like, at first she was like, I don't know, and then my dad made a bet with me. My parents were really big into academics being good, and so my dad said at the time Mary Poppins was my favorite movie, and if I spelled supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, I could have a car. And so I apparently 7-year-old me got it done, because then my mom made my dad come home with a go-kart, and we started from there. And when I was 12 or 13, we were gonna get into micro sprints and stuff, but we just ended up staying in karts. And then I ended up thinking, okay, I really like racing, and I got the opportunity to go to a trade school half the day in high school. So I went for automotive, and I was like, okay, I really like it. And we actually had UNOH come into the classroom, because it's kind of hard when you're in such a small town, and like to you, like NASCAR and NHRA and everything seems like way out there. Like, how do you get to that point? And UNOH came into the school and actually did a presentation and said, like, you know, this is our school and these are where our students are. And I was like, okay, there's like an actual school for this. And that really is what I think when it clicked. Like, but I don't know, I like things that go fast, and for me it's the you know, testing stuff and then seeing the result. And then I guess for me, driving, most certainly. Like, I had that itch to go driving, and then once I got into on a professional team in NHRA, like, I didn't realize you could have the same feeling and adrenaline rush crewing on a car as you could driving. So it was, I'm sure it's not nearly as cool as your adrenaline rush in the dragster.
I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, it takes everybody, and yeah. I may be weird, but I take it harder for you guys than I do for myself, because I know the amount of work that you guys put in.
Yeah, it's crazy what, like, that feeling, like, I get those butterflies every time when they start the car up on the line, and you're coming out to me and everything, and then once we're backing you up, it's like everything settles, and then you're kind of back on the line again, and you guys are bumping in, and it's like you get that feeling again, and to watch it go, like, it's crazy that you can get that rush off of just crewing, which is pretty cool.
So what is, how do I want to answer this? Because I know the answer that I want.
Oh.
What is the craziest thing with me and you on the racetrack that's happened to you?
Oh, Charlotte, are we talking about Charlotte?
Yeah,
yeah, this is fantastic. It's probably the craziest thing that's ever happened to me on track, period, like throughout the whole 8 years. So we were in Charlotte, Q2, it was a night run, so I think it was Q2, and they had all the pyrotechnics going off, and you know, I stand out by the wall, and I knew they were gonna shoot off the first time, and you kind of expect it, and then I'm backing you up, and they shoot off again, and I'm like, really? We're doing this a second time? But what came after that was I had sneakers that didn't have any tread left on the bottom. I knew I needed new ones, so I just hadn't got to it.
You had slicks on.
I did. I really did have slicks on, and my foot stuck. And I hit the ground so fast. I'm sure, did it go on YouTube? And it's short.
I'm going to explain this.
Okay.
So, yes, I had the video. Mm-hmm. Yes, I may have cropped it in such a way that made it funny.
Yes.
And yes, I sent it to Kaylynn and never put it out to the world until you did.
Yes, yeah. So we were headed back to Charlotte. So and this was 4 weeks before my wedding. So as I'm falling very rapidly, all I could think about was my face. Like, anything else can happen, but if we could just avoid the face. And I fell, and it knocked the wind out of me, and of embarrassment, really. And so I felt like I was on the ground forever, like that I had enough time to tell myself, get up, get up, get up, get up. Like, we do not have time for this. And I finally popped back up, and we continued on like nothing happened. It wasn't until I got behind the car that I kind of went, ow. and like it kind of hurt. But then in the fall, Charlotte, as we were headed back, I'm like, you know what? I think it's a good time to post it. Yeah.
And then of course I posted it, and it kind of went everywhere.
Yeah, it was awesome though. I think, and I honestly, it was scary, or not scary. It was funny that a lot of crew guys came up and said, hey man, thanks for posting that. Like everybody's kind of done it, been there. We've all had that moment where you stick to the track, but I felt a little bit better about it.
Yeah, and what I don't remember, as much as I remember watching you fall, and to be honest, like my first thought was, oh crap, I hope you're okay, you know, whatever. And obviously you hopped right up. I know it may have felt like a long time, but I don't even remember if we completed the run. Like I don't even remember.
What was funny to me too is we didn't know if it was on the camera until Donna didn't even realize it happened. She was taking video of the run, and then we know, the Donna cam, and we noticed afterwards that she actually had it, but had no idea it had happened as she was filming.
Exactly.
So.
So I know you folks are like, all right, get to the punchline here, get to what y'all were fighting about. But I think there are a lot of people that don't realize that you're very much an entrepreneur. You've got a pretty cool business going.
I do, yeah.
How did all that happen? And what do you do?
So
I mean, obviously I know, but
yeah. So it's kind of started. It started quite a few years back. I kind of got into like makeup a little bit more and everything, and then this is what we're talking about, right? Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. I'm like, it's the only side hustle I know of. But I got into makeup really big, and it took me a long time coming up into the sport and through like automotive classes and stuff, that like to be comfortable being feminine still, I guess, and wearing makeup and stuff to the track. And so once I got into it, you know, I started with a company that I represented, you know, selling makeup. But what really happened was when COVID hit, and we lost our jobs, and you're kind of sitting there in limbo. I fell in love with the skincare line, and it really, and like my skin goes through the absolute like worst environment out here.
Absolutely.
Clutch dust, solvent, brake clean, nitro, like it's all of it. And so it really, really worked for me. And so I ended up pairing with this company, and it's called Beauty Society. My portion of it is called Clutch Cosmetics. And so during COVID, I built a team. I think it's around 450 ladies. So that's something on the side, skincare and makeup and fashion. I follow it all, but the skincare, like it really, especially with what we put our skin through, like I was definitely into that and pushed it. So that's kind of like my side hustle when I'm not racing.
So with the craziness, I obviously know zero about makeup and that sort of thing, but I will hand it to you that I don't know of many ladies that would post photos, zero makeup, and the whole process, the things that you post.
Yeah.
That is, that's pretty awesome.
It takes a lot of confidence, yeah.
And other question on that, because you're so fair complected, do you think that that kind of proves the worth of the product that you back? It
does, for sure, because I already suffer from hyperpigmentation and sun damage with my skin in general, and then that just makes the acne and everything else way worse on top of my pores clogging and everything. And so it's hard to find something that my skin, because there's the other thing too, is a lot of times when people start skincare regimens, it'll work for 2 or 3 months, and then all of a sudden the magic kind of fades. And I've been married to the regimen I'm on for about 3 years now, and which has really improved my makeup game, because if you have a clean canvas, the makeup looks a lot better when you put it on.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think it's important for all of us, the guys, everybody should be washing your face.
So I know you guys are like, please get off of that subject. But here's kind of what we're, golly, I'm feeling a little frog in my throat on all this. So what you saw was Kaylynn and I acting at the beginning of this. So I have my entire life, I knew what I wanted to do, and I'm doing that. Kaylynn just told you that her entire life was not dedicated to go drag racing. So What's been your dream?
So it's taken a little bit to like figure it out, and I guess you want me to go through like how we got to this point, or we want to just head into it? What has been your dream? So Formula One.
Formula One.
Formula One, yeah. So that's something that my husband and I recently have really taken a liking to. The technology behind it, just the prestige of the sport, the international travel, and just that level of racing. So that's kind of, within the past couple of years, kind of been in the back of our mind, and we started networking with some people, and just trying to see how realistic this is, because a lot of the people in Formula One are engineers, right? And we have a mechanical background. We don't necessarily have engineering degrees, so we weren't sure if there was a pathway for us, and we found out there was. So that's been something that's been kind of in the back of my mind for a while, but we're excited to kind of go in that direction.
So behind the camera, I stopped Kaylynn because I want to kind of lead up to our fake fight,
yes,
which was fun. That was actually
it was fun. I don't know, like I literally after we were done fake fighting was shaking because it's so hard to yell at him. Like I don't, I mean, I guess if I'm really mad, I'll yell at people, but
oh, I've seen it.
I know.
I've seen it. I've heard it.
Yes, he has, and it was like afterwards, I'm like, I cannot yell at Clay Milligan. Like, this is not right.
So what race did you come in the lounge? And then I want to tell part of that story.
So yeah, so this is actually, the team has known since...
Wait. What race did you come talk to me at Jimmo?
Indy.
Indy.
Yep.
So I'm going to take part of the story here for a moment because I love talking. And I want to give my perspective, and then the most important one is obviously Kaylynn. So Kaylynn walks into the lounge, it's Jimmo, Donna, and myself. And
Bruce.
And Bruce.
Yep.
And Bruce. And she shuts the door and says, I need to talk to you guys. And immediately I knew like something's wrong, something's up. And I look at her and her eyes well up. Mm-hmm. And I immediately have to go to like my happy place because I'm like, something's wrong. Somebody's fixing to get their head pinched off because they have done something to what I consider one of my kids. And through all that, she tells us
that I'm leaving at the end of this season. Yeah, God, it's harder now than it was when we did it. But yeah, I've never quit a job before in my life. You know, I have, like when you leave college and everything, but like a career that you've made. And very thankfully to a lot of people around you. It was hard to walk in because this wasn't an easy decision. So when I finally came to the conclusion that, you know, I was gonna do this and it was time to go, I wanted to give everybody on the team enough grace, you know, it's a spot to fill, and I wanted it to be out there in the open. There was no reason why specifically I'm leaving the team. You know, has anything to do with the group of guys, Clay, Jimmo, Rick Ware. They're all fantastic people, so which made it extra hard to do that. But I wanted it out there, like in Indy. I wanted one, to kind of like let myself breathe, knowing that my husband and I had made the decision to leave, and then also so we could work towards helping find somebody for that position.
I think what we haven't told is, what are you going to do?
I think we might want to get to that. So, and at that point, I knew that week I was going to be sending out resumes to IndyCar teams. And at this point, I have accepted a position on an IndyCar team, and I start in a couple weeks, and it's coming at me rapidly. IndyCar, we think, is going to be a stepping stone to get us hopefully over to Formula One. We knew we needed open wheel experience, and we don't have that. We don't have road racing experience. We don't have going over the wall experience. Yeah, we could do turnarounds, which I think is going to be a really big help. But I think getting over there is going to be a start to the big dream. And actually, one of our other crew guys said, if your dreams aren't big enough, and they don't scare you enough, they aren't big enough. That's it. If your dreams don't scare you enough, they're not big enough. And for me, that kind of just changed over, you know, when I got here in drag racing, it became a personal vengeance at that point. It was something like I needed to do that for myself, because the department I'm in was a struggle for me at first when I started, and I had to do that for myself to come out and accomplish the things that we've done and the wins that we had this year. And this season has been the absolute best that I've had. So it seems like the appropriate time that I've done what I needed to do personally here, and I've had a fantastic year to kind of end this chapter and to move on to something new.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I gotta finish the lounge story, because
Oh yeah.
so anyway, so she tells us that she's leaving. I did not completely come unglued during that. Donna did. She did.
Done it. Yeah, I did.
But once she got it out there, I was honestly so happy that she is chasing after what she wants to do, which is what everybody should do.
Yes.
I'm living proof. Come from a family with no money, and I've been able to do this forever. You have already been making a living for a few years now, but you're going after what you really want to do,
Yeah.
which I think is fantastic. But the funny part of her in the lounge was after she tells everything and it's all out there, and there's some tears going, I was like, golly, Kaylynn, this is not what I was expecting when you walked in. I thought you were fixing to tell us you were pregnant.
Yep, hey, that really did happen, and Donna was like, me too. But yeah, no.
And you followed that up with, that will be the rumor if we don't tell this properly, because
Right.
you were married 4 months at that time.
Yeah, we had just gotten married, and we figured as soon as people start kind of hearing that we're leaving, I'm like, that's going to be the reasons, because we want to settle down and have a family. But we're actually just getting started on living our careers out and starting new dreams.
And first step to Formula One.
Yeah,
First
yeah,
step
we're
to
really
Formula
excited.
One. So we kept y'all for a long time to get to that, but I felt it was very important that y'all have seen Kaylynn on this channel. She's helped this channel grow. She's done an amazing job with everything, and especially the Kaylynn takeovers. They were
those
awesome.
were fun.
They were
a lot of fun.
not necessarily for the best reasons with
Right.
race cars, but
Right. But I give you credit though. Like, I didn't realize like how much it takes to get clips throughout the day until I'm like having to remind myself like, oh man, I gotta get this.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot. He puts a lot into these videos for you guys. So love on them. Like, subscribe, comment, all those things.
So I guess to wrap this up, I'm so excited for Kaylynn and Blake to head towards what they're about to go after. And I told her earlier today, you're going to be bored, because there's going to be no 40-minute turnarounds.
Yep.
Granted, there's pit wall and all those things that
Yeah.
that'll be in your future. But just want you guys to know that I love this girl. She's definitely one of my kids, and she's always got a couple named Donna and Clay that she can get anything and everything she needs from us.
Absolutely.
And I love you.
I love you too, man. I got some fun facts to share if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
so y'all stay.
Yes.
She's got
just for a
fun
couple
facts.
minutes. So, and I'll get to why I'm
move
sharing.
back over here.
Yeah.
Move back over
So
here.
I'll let you guys know at the end like why I wanted to kind of bring these up, because this was when Blake and I started kind of thinking about what we wanted to do and everything. We looked over kind of some of the background in the past 8. He's actually been out here longer than me, about 10 years. But so over 8 years.
I want to say real quick, his first job was with the car
I
was
know.
driving.
Exactly, yeah. So my husband worked here, and I actually met him through a crew guy who also worked here, introduced the two of us.
With me, not
Yes.
RWR, but
Right,
yes.
Yep. So we kind of looked over this, and in 8 years, in the truck, we've drove 223,191 miles.
Holy crap.
And that's just like to and from the track. That's not some of the, obviously throughout the years we have displays and extra stuff we go to, but that is to and from all the 165 events that I've done. That equaled 3,328 hours in a truck. So, and I didn't probably drive all 220, probably about half, because we have co-drivers, so we drive in teams, and we spent 893 nights in a hotel, and that is bare minimum, like Thursday to check out Monday morning, 893 nights. So when Blake and I started looking at that, we kind of divided it out and figured out of the 8 years, you know, I've been in a hotel for 3. And for the past 3 years, I've been either in McLeansboro or Charlotte. So 6 out of the 8 years, I've been gone. So we're, you know, kind of excited. Both of the IndyCar shops that we'll be working at are 15 minutes from our house. And this is also kind of on a personal level for us, just to kind of get us both back to Indy and spending time with each other married and entering this new deal we're gonna do. So,
you know what, I'm gonna say this first. Yeah. Typical Kaylynn to have all those facts and data, which is what she does in the clutch department so well. Mm-hmm. But you know what, we did not say, or can we say, what team are you going to work for?
Yeah, no, we can. So I accepted a position with Chip Ganassi.
That's pretty big.
That is pretty big. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I interviewed, I was certainly nervous. You know, it's a very top tier team, and when I got the call, I literally was jumping up and down in the hotel room on the phone at the time. So it's a little nerve-wracking. You know, that is a big deal walking in there, but I'm not exactly sure what I will be doing. I know I'm listed as a travel mechanic, so I will travel with the team. And possibly have the opportunity to go over the wall, stuff like that, but I'm not exactly sure what I'll be doing. But yeah, in a couple short weeks, I guess I'll figure it out. And I'm also walking into IndyCar.
She's breaking my heart, that's what
I know. I'm so sorry.
Hey, Rick, you admit there's been a few tears.
Yes, there has.
I'm holding back. I'm holding back. This is my girl.
Yeah.
My girl. So proud of her. She deserves it.
Thank you. But here's another step we're taking, and I'm walking into IndyCar not knowing anything again. So
you did it here, and you did very well.
So I'm hoping it works out that way again.
Yeah. Well, you know, you got a home.
Yes.
All you got to say is, Daddy, I'm coming back.
I'm coming home. Yeah, no, I truly am grateful to have spent the past 3 years with this group, and especially this year with Rick Ware coming on, and Jesse and Jimmo and Bruce and some of the other additions we had. Like, it's been a dream end to this chapter. It really has, and I'm really grateful for every second of it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Wrap us up.
All right.
You're a pro at it now.
I guess, yeah. You guys, anyways, the reason why I shared those facts too is to remind you guys, go out there, buy those tickets. When you come to the pits and you see these guys out here, we have a badass group of guys that have gone through all that as well. They've gone up and down the road, and everything you see set up, the race car, everything, they do that. And it's, I have a lot of respect, and the sport is truly humbling. So buy those tickets, go to the ropes, go to the pits, watch these guys, because what they do is insanely cool, and I'm so glad to have been a part of it. So thank you guys so much for watching, liking, subscribing. We'll see you in the next one. That's excited. Love you, dude.
Love you too.
Bye, y'all.
Love you guys.